Welcome back to our study of the way of the Bodhisattva. We are continuing today with verse 20. This the Tathagata in the Sutra Subbahu requested, said with reasoned argument for those inclined to lesser paths. So now Shantideva is setting up an argument for those who want to claim that the Buddha's teachings are not about this Mahayana intention, that the Shravaka orientation of self-liberation is sufficient, and why should I take on this burden of all sentient beings? And he's therefore drawing on the sutras, quoting the Buddha himself, in order to defend this argument, because we have to rely on different reasoning, so he uses both reasoning and also supports from the tradition in order to validate his claim. So he's talking about what the Buddha said here, and he said in verse 21, if with kindly generosity one merely has the wish to soothe the aching heads of other beings, such merit knows no bounds. So he says, basically the smallest suffering you can think of, right? If you just had the wish that somebody wouldn't have a headache, that merit is incredible. Just to have the wish that somebody else wouldn't have a headache is already producing great merit. But then in verse 22, no need to speak then of the wish to drive away the endless pain of each and every living being, bringing them to unbounded excellence. You see that logically, it's obvious that if one having that wish for one being is meritorious, then having that wish for infinite sentient beings is infinitely more meritorious. And we can rely then on the logic of this. It continues in verse 23. Could even our father or mother ever have so generous a wish? Do the very gods, the rishis, even Brahma harbor such benevolence as this? Even your father and mother have never thought to wish for you to be totally free of all suffering and attain perfect Buddhahood, right? Like this incredible wish. Do even the gods, rishis, and Brahma have this? No, because they would be Buddhas, or at least high-level bodhisattvas if they had this wish, right? The wish to free all beings from suffering and give them all the qualities of Buddhahood. This is an incredible, vast aspiration, and that's why it's so amazing, right? Like it doesn't even occur to us to think that big. Right? We just think, oh, I wish that I could have a little bit more happiness, or they could be a little happier, or not have so much suffering. But we don't think to go this big. And that's the incredible teachings of bodhicitta. They're saying, go big. Right? We have in verse 24, for in the past they never even their dreams wish something like this for even themselves. How could they do so for another's sake, right? We don't even wish this for ourselves. Our father and mother don't even wish this for themselves. Brahma and the rishis didn't wish this for themselves. They didn't wish for complete eradication of all suffering and all the qualities of Buddhahood, right? They just wished for worldly attainments, lesser attainments, not this infinite scope of intention and merit. So this is why this is so amazing and so powerful. So just by holding this intention and then acting on that basis, following the path of the paramitas, they sequentially build on each other. As you develop yourself in generosity, then it moves forward and you become more and more capable of practicing the greater ones, and they compound on each other, becoming more and more powerful. So we'll continue through this. I hope you're starting to see why having this intention is so important and so powerful. For all you guys that are practicing already, we say this all the time. But I don't know about you, but it's so easy to just say it. May all beings be free from suffering through this practice. But are we really thinking that through this activity, we are working towards liberating all sentient beings? Can we carry that intention? That's what we need to train in. I know for me, I have to really work at this. Otherwise, it just becomes like empty words, right? I have to pull in the kind of subtle intention through all of my actions, practice or otherwise it loses its power. And I think this is some of this difference between the aspiration and the activity. The activity is doing something with the intention, not just stating the intention. So I hope you'll see that distinction. I hope you're enjoying everything, and I'll see you next time.